So the next week was the spoof where you had to do a parody of a RuPaul song, and you were in a group that was doing Let the Music Play.
Right.
How did you feel about that, doing that? Because I guess that's kind of acting, but also singing at the same time.
Yeah, it was fun. It was funny. I got the opportunity to be camp and funny and silly, and I'm not the greatest singer, but I can sing. And so we had a good time. I think Rue didn't like that we were making fun of Drag U, and he took offense to that, which I thought was like, listen, we're improvising here, and saying that it was a rough spot didn't make him feel very good.
Now, what was that Drag U lyric again?
That was a rough spot.
All right, that was one of my favorite jobs. Did change people's lives, you know.
So he was sort of, that anger kind of followed into our next episode.
Well, that was literally going to be my question. When I watched that, I always felt like I couldn't tell whether he was being serious about being genuinely offended, because it didn't seem like, I thought it was kind of funny that, because they always make fun of Rue and him, his background, his singing. Like, people always make fun of the roast jokes about him and his career. So I was a bit confused as to whether he really did, whether that was genuine or whether that was kind of scripted, that he was offended by that.
I would say he wasn't horribly offended, but he didn't like it.
And how did that make, so when you were on set and you said the line for the first time, and obviously the track was already done, you couldn't change it.
Yeah, I felt like he was offended. I felt like he somehow thought it was disrespectful, because he thought they did a really nice job helping to change people's lives with that show.
Right. Okay. Well, that's interesting to know that wasn't put on, that it was like that was how it genuinely happened.
Yeah.
And so, and also in that episode, Ginger Minge described, when you were doing the singing, she described you as being a mix between Ethel Merman and Paul Lynde.
Perfect. I mean, could it be more accurate? I loved it. I think of it as a compliment.
I was going to say, I mean, in the episode, they were trying to almost, I don't know if they were trying to push this storyline that you weren't good or something, but I was like, but she sounds exactly the way that Mrs. Kasha Davis would sound. Like, that's right. Exactly it. And so obviously your team was safe, but Kennedy, who was in your team, won the challenge. So I guess you could say that your team was kind of high.
Yes.
How did that feel then, being safe another time, potentially in a winning group?
I didn't have a problem with being safe. I thought that was a good thing.
And so then you go into the next week, and that is the Despy Awards.
Yes.
You get paired with Katya to be in your duo, but also for the mini challenge, and she dressed up as Bjork, and you did Joan Rivers, which I thought was hysterical.
Yes.
And you then ended up winning the mini challenge and getting to be the hosts of the Despy Awards. What did that feel like, sort of winning that mini challenge and then going into that?
Well, thinking back, I knew that there was the tendency that I was safe and I was not showing them enough, and I was worried that I wasn't going to get the chance to show more. So I thought, well, we're doing a runway about fashion. Let me throw in Joan Rivers. So I did that as a quick, like, hey, just so you know, this is the kind of stuff that I can do, with hopes to encourage the producers to see me as a winner. And I thought it worked, and obviously we did win that. And then jump to the Despy Awards. Obviously, we had prepared many jokes. Kathy Griffin didn't like them. She cut them. The producers took us backstage and cut more jokes. There was jokes cut about Michelle Visage's boobs. So we were down to 0. We basically were like, our script said, hello, go out on stage and improvise. I am a host. That's what I do. So I panicked because so many jokes were taken out. And Katya said, what are we going to do? And I said, we're just going to have to go wing it. And so when I went out, I said, welcome, obviously. And then they just really made a big deal out of that.
Oh my goodness, everyone. We want to welcome you to the first annual Despy Awards.
I did not think I did horribly, but I also didn't think I did terrific. It was okay. I was nervous. I was in my head. Skipped to the lip sync. I thought I won it. And I was sort of like, oh, the old lady's going home. That's the first thought I thought in my head. And I thought, okay, I enjoyed the ride. But it was interesting to me. It was sort of like, I didn't necessarily think we were supported. Our jokes kept being removed. And I think that's all on me. I could have improvised. Katya could have improvised. And so we didn't do very well. We could have done more with just whatever. Just, now I know going forward that you just go in the moment and go for it. And maybe I should have done the jokes that they cut.
Well, because you hit the nail on the head with what you said. When I watched it, I really liked you and Katya's energy, and I thought you did really well. And you could tell you're a natural host. And like you said, I think they really did play up the you said welcome, like you mispronounced it. Like they made a big deal of it, and I was like, well, that's the only thing she got right. She got right.
Yeah.
So, did you think you were going to be in the bottom that week then?
No. It was kind of shocking to me. I mean, I didn't necessarily think, if thinking back, that I can remember who should have been, but even though I still think my lip sync was fun. I mean, I love Candy. She won. I think it could have been a tie, really. I don't think she did poorly. But yeah, of course, I should think I won, right?
I will say I was surprised that you left that episode. It was quite shocking to me. As soon as the music started and you like pulled the slit in your skirt and you started dancing, I was like, oh, surely she's got this. So I was really surprised.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
Look, carry on.
No. I was just going to say that it was one of those moments where when it hit me, when I walked off the stage, I was like, well, I did it. I got here, and now we'll see what's next.
Yeah, and obviously, so unfortunately, yeah, we've talked to you obviously in the bottom, and you were told to sashay away. One thing that I was going to ask actually about that moment was when the lip sync finished. They made it look like twice you went to say something to Candy, and then they cut it off and they put that sort of rattle shade noise in the background, almost like she didn't really speak to you. Is that what actually happened? Had you auditioned for previous seasons before?
I did. So I auditioned for all 7 seasons right from the beginning. The first season, what they were looking for was a drag queen and their assistant. Yes, Jasmine and Kennedy wanted to go home. They kept saying it, or not Kennedy. Jasmine and Candy wanted to go home. They kept saying it over and over. They're just like, let me go home. I want to go. I want to go. They had to coach Jasmine to come back to the set. It's very stressful. But what's really interesting about season 7 is season 7 was hated so much because of some of the changes that were made in the way that they did the promo.